There's a mighty force that makes gardening so much easier, and I'm not talking about the force, I'm talking about native plants. When I talk about native plants, I'm talking about plants that have been there a long time, before colonialization, before the latest waves of human immigration bringing those plants over. I'm Dave Royson, and I'm going to walk you through 5 reasons you should be using native plants in your gardening. Number 1, they're so easy. They're incredibly easy to do. You practically just dig a hole, pop the plant in, and let it do its thing. Native plants are adapted to their environment. Whatever ecoregion you may be in, they're adapted to the soils. They resist pests local to the area. The next reason I love native plants, they attract butterflies, bees, hummingbirds, and other pollinators. They're beautiful, they're wonderful. All those pollinators are craving the nectar that those plants can provide. That's the benefit of native plants in building these foundational insects, which brings me to my next point. Native plants build ecosystems. By attracting insects that feed on those plants, that live in them, that place their larvae in them, you're attracting predators like amphibians, reptiles, bigger birds, mammals. You're building nature's ecosystem in your own backyard. It's incredible to see. It's very gratifying, knowing that you're building an island in an otherwise barren suburban landscape. Another reason I love native plants is because they use less water. Once you water them in and have them established after a few months, you barely have to water them ever again. I run my front yard with zero irrigation, and it works out great because my plants are adapted to the local cycles of rain and drought. My first year living in my house, I spent $900 that year watering my lawn. When I looked at the numbers, I couldn't believe it. That's why I'm so much more excited about having native plants, because I'm saving that water, saving that money, and saving the time and effort it would take to water everything, and instead reinvesting in those plants. A final reason I love native plants, they use less fertilizer and inputs. Because they're adapted to that soil, because they're adapted to that ecosystem, they don't need to struggle to survive. Think about an English rose in the desert, all the watering, all the feeding and care and attending that it needs, and compare that to a cactus. It's just so much easier to plant the things that love growing in that area. I hope you consider these things with your own garden. This is just a quick list to share some of my excitement about native plants. If you'd like to learn more about native plants and gardening for wildlife, click subscribe and you'll be able to watch future videos.